Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our Joyful Journeys very special interview series this week, celebrating Women's Equality Day, where we've been highlighting the journeys and stories of absolutely stellar women out there breaking the status quo in male-dominated careers, male-dominated fields, and beyond. Today, I am beyond thrilled as a huge football fan, as a huge DC sports fan, to be joined with two local sports stars from one of our professional teams. You might not be aware, but DC is home to a professional full tackle women's football team called the DC Divas. DC Divas is a part of the Women's Football Alliance, which is a fantastic organization promoting the spirit of full tackle football for women. So today I am joined by Kristie Kelly and Sienna Britt of the DC Divas. Both of you, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm going to start first. I will pass it, I guess, to Kristie first, and then to Sienna. If you can go ahead and tell us about your role on the DC Divas, and then also share with us what you do professionally as well off the field.
Sure. So on the DC Divas, I am a wide receiver, and I'm also the kicker. And I've been on the team for 3 years. And outside of football, I am an electrical engineer in space exploration. So I actually work on 2 different NASA missions, and it's very exciting, very fun. Was never a field I thought I would get into, but now that I'm in it, I don't want to do anything else.
Awesome. And Sienna?
Good morning. So I'm a wide receiver and a specialist for the DC Divas. Outside of football, I'm a full-time student at Howard University. I'm studying media communications with a double minor in African American Studies and Criminology. And then also at Howard, I'm a student assistant wide receiver coach for the Howard's men's team.
We do have Jazmyne Claggett about to join us, so I'm going to get her into the interview with us. She is another DC diva. So let's just give Jazmyne a second to hop on, hear from her a little bit, and then we will go into our last question. Hey, Jazmyne, thanks for joining us. So I want to give you a little bit of time to introduce yourself. If you can tell us what your role is on the DC Divas and what you do professionally in your career off the field.
My name is Jazmyne Claggett, also known as Big Baby. I have been with the Divas for 8 seasons. Going into my 9th, I play defensive tackle, nose tackle on the D line. And in my professional career, I am an engineer by degree, but profession, I'm a senior technology consultant.
That is amazing. So absolutely fantastic that you guys not only on the field are challenging the status quo, but off the field as well, working on NASA missions, coaching men's football for Howard, Go Bisons, local to DC. Thank you guys so much for your introduction. So what has your experience been like, both as a woman on the field in a male-dominated sport and off the field in, male-dominated career settings?
So in a male-dominated career, so in engineering, females, minority females are even more scarce than just, females in general. And so in college, it was not much, collaboration with, my male counterparts. It was a bit difficult to find my way, but through my professors as well as through different organizations like the Black Student Union, Black Engineers Association. It was very helpful to create a community that would embrace me in being a woman in a male dominated field. And that's the same way when it comes to women's tackle football. I think that the coaches that we have on the Divas are one of a kind, and that they empower us to build and become better athletes and better players, and embrace the sport and continue to love it.
So I think for me, it's being a woman in a male dominated sport and job. It's it can have its challenges, but it's also really empowering. When you're surrounded in an environment where you're challenging the status quo, like, it makes people, question, why they didn't think a woman could play tackle football, or why can't a woman be an engineer? Um, and you get to constantly prove those people wrong and prove that you can do it. And to me, that is super empowering. I love being able to prove somebody wrong.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'd say for me, it has been like extremely rewarding, and also just like being able to like do something that not a lot of people can say they've done or expect you not to do. And it's almost just like, yeah, like I'm a female and I can still do everything that a male can do as well.
I love both those points about I'm going to go out here and prove people wrong, and I'm going to take myself into a space where a lot of people can't say that they've gone. Whether that's coaching, Sienna, for you, coaching in a literal male full tackle team at the collegiate level, and Kristie, taking us literally to the stars. You guys are shining examples, especially to the girls and youth in our program, that they can have the confidence and they can have the empowerment to go into those spaces where maybe they're questioning their presence there, but once they're there and they're taking on those challenges and conquering them, like you said, Kristie, you put it so greatly, that empowerment, is unmatched to anything in the world. Awesome. So want to talk a little bit about football now and exactly how the Women's Football Alliance is set up. We're all familiar with the NFL. Preseason games have started. The season's about to get kicked off. All of us know the billions upon billions of dollars that go into that organization to fund teams, to fund players, and the billions that, quite frankly, come out of it as well. So the Women's Football Alliance, a little bit different. So if a lot of people don't know, in this space with these professional teams, women's full tackle football, the majority of you guys as players are actually paying to play. You guys are paying for your own equipment, your own pads. I'm sure you guys can clue us into other stuff that you guys are covering with, sometimes your own funds. So knowing that and knowing that equity is only going to be achieved when that playing field is more level, especially when it comes to the money funding this organization. What types of supports are in place to start changing that system where players have to pay? And what other immediate steps do you think need to be taken to kind of work towards that equity in
Absolutely. I think so over the years where I've been involved with the team, or it was women's tackle football, since I was about 14 years old, I was introduced to the Divas. Um, Sponsorships have been really key in growing the sport. So sponsorships not only for just individual players, but also for teams as a whole, even as teams, in the league. And so, different organizations, different, companies that, are able to, step up and sponsor either the league, the team, a player is really, helpful. Whether that's, providing, water bottles or equipment or meals, I think that that's going to help progress and move the sport forward. But I also think that our male counterparts, in the NFL, it would be helpful for them to assist in, teams all around the country. Similar to what happened with the WNBA and the NBA, and how the NBA essentially assists the WNBA in getting to that next level of the platform. And I think that if the NFL sheds more light onto women's football, it would provide the more attention and provide more funds for women's football.
I think right now, yeah, a large majority of the players pay to be there. A lot of us have outside jobs that we do full time, and then football, it almost feels like a second full-time job. Um, so I think right now the like the things that are in place are us fundraising and constantly trying to get partnerships or sponsorships, and media coverage. I think for us, it's like we are trying to get our name out there. And so we are live streaming all of our games. We are advertising at local events. We're putting on different camps for people. I think right now it's like we are spreading the word about us through word of mouth. And we hope that when we are showcasing our talent to the world, that people, hop on board. There's a huge influx of people that are really supporting women's sports right now. You can see it with women's basketball. You can see it with women's rugby, right? And so it's like women's football has been here. But it hasn't been covered, so people don't really know about it. So I think that for me, it really feels like if we get the media coverage that we need for the sport to be seen, to be known, then the sponsorships will come in, the partnerships will come in. And, that's for me where it starts. It starts with the visibility. And so people have to know about us in order to, provide the funds for us to keep playing.
Yeah, definitely. So everybody listening to this podcast, or if you're tuned into a social media channel watching this interview right now, go follow them on Facebook, Instagram, all of the socials. I know those likes and those follows are powerful, and talk to your friends about, hey, did you know DC has a professional women's football team? Awesome. Sienna, how about you? What's your take on, working towards that equity in female football, full tackle?
So representation matters. So little by little, I like we've continued to grow each year. All the seasons coming, like I'd say that more and more of the media coverage that we have, live streams and stuff, it has continuously grown since the WFA started to now. Again, we are still paying. We haven't become recognized as much as we'd like to yet, because once we do get that, hopefully we'll be getting that money back instead of giving that money in order to play. And I hope to get there someday. But we do have local sponsors, along with like fundraisers to cover player fees. Like really anything helps when it comes to any funding that we can get. And when I first started playing, I was 17 and I played in Jersey because that's where I originally, like, I'm from Jersey. I came to DC, joined the DC Divas because I'm here at Howard. But I was paying more for my Jersey team than I'm paying for my DC team. So that just shows you, like, I was in Division II when I was in Jersey, and now I'm in Pro Division at the WFA. So the fees do increase, or decrease, but it really anything helps. Representation matters each and every day. Social media, word of mouth, everything. Really, any way you can advertise, advertise.
Yeah. So it sounds like, right now, those immediate steps, like you said, just getting in front of more eyes, raising awareness that you guys exist, that it is a fun sport to come out and watch, obviously. I don't know if folks listening know, I go through a really like a drought where I feel deprived of football, and you guys, your season is in May through roughly June, July. So right when you're like having those real like deprivation, like, oh, I need some football. Boom, here we go. We have the WFA rolling, rocking, and out there for some great football fun. So hoping that our listeners take that little nugget, that they can be involved in those immediate next steps, working towards equity, and helping to elevate y'all's presence in the community. Awesome. So I want to circle back to something, Kristie, that you mentioned kind of at the start of that answer, and it's women's sports in general. It is a hot topic right now. I feel like all of our news coverage has been about the WNBA, watching all of those stellar collegiate players feed into the professional system there, watching the Olympics, watching that women's rugby team. There's just been an amazing highlight, I feel, in the last 6 months on women's sports, and the fact that people watch women's sports. And when people are watching women's sports, that means that advertisers are getting their money. And that means that funders are going to be more apt to fund those sports. So what gives you guys hope right now in seeing major changes in supporting women's sports going forward?
So watching the, NCAA this season, as well as, the WNBA, as well as the Olympics, and how many prominent female athletes that we have in the nation, with the love of their sport, and how that has grown, and just not just internally, but also externally, as far as like internationally as well. I believe that, we're seeing a lot more support. So viewership in the, women's NCAA basketball has tremendously grown, as well as, the WNBA. The Olympics are seeing, lots of support on, in women's sports. So I think that it's becoming more popular to, for women to play, all different types of sports, and for people to, be intrigued as to, what women can do, how many points they can score, and, what, if it's gymnastics, what they can perform. For football, how many, touchdowns they can, put up, or, how many tackles they can break. And people are becoming amazed, and, seeing that women can really do anything that they put their mind to, and they can compete just on the same level as a man. So it's not anything less. And I'm enjoying that people are really opening their eyes, and watching women play professional sports just as men's do as well.
I think drawing inspiration from other teams is really what is giving me hope right now. The significant strides that women are making in athletics is being recognized, and that feels really, really good. And I think it's exciting to be a female athlete right now, and I just feel the momentum, and it's really fun to be a part of the momentum and be a part of the history and a part of the growth. I think it's a really unique position to be in, and you get to be like a trailblazer almost for the sport. And there's so many other people that did it before us, and there's going to be so many people that do it after us. But it's really inspiring to look at where we are now and hope that the next generation of female athletes and girls playing sports is going to have it so much better, right, than we have it now. And that to me is really exciting to be a part of.
Definitely looking towards the next generation and knowing how we can make it better for them is definitely something that drives us at Girls on the Run. So love hearing that from you. Sienna, how about you?
Exactly. Like picking up of what Kristie said, like I always say, anytime I'm involved in something or any type of program, I want to leave that program better than I found it. So being able to like, I have hope right now with seeing like all these women's sports in the Olympics, and USA flag just got in the Olympics. So just like seeing all the things like football related and women centered around football, that's just like, oh my goodness, like yes, like that's what we want. So again, that hope with just breaking those barriers and doing things that they're not originally like, it's not frowned upon, but I'll say that male dominated. So being able to like continue to improve the program, because I know some people that I play with now are not going to be there to the point where, hey, we're getting paid now, but I'm retired. So being able to like say like again like trailblaze and be better for the people that are going to continue to come with the generation in football. It's a whole world, and it's continuing to grow.
Awesome. I love that. I love the inspiration. I love the positive look forward. Like you said, it's going to grow. And Kristie, kind of like you said, the fact that you guys get to be trailblazers in this space is quite frankly inspiring. It's empowering. And can't wait to see how women's sports continues to dominate, because I think the trend is going to continue. It's not slowing down. We're not taking our foot off that gas pedal. So very excited to see what comes next. We just talked about women's sports moving forward, how there's more eyes on it. There's a lot of momentum and excitement about women's sports. So with that in mind, and also reflecting on your personal accomplishments across the board, on and off the field, you guys are challenging the status quo. You are female full tackle professional football players. You have careers that are male dominated. What words of wisdom, what advice would you give to girls to inspire them to chase their dreams no matter what obstacles they might face?
I think this journey has taught me that persistence and passion are key. Like we're here because we want to be here. And I think when you're surrounded by a group of athletes that want to be there and want to be playing, like, that is super motivating. And I think to the people coming after me, go out there, prove people wrong, just do it. Um, nothing can stop you because of your gender. If you want to go out and do it, go do it. That's what I would say to the next generation.
Awesome. Sienna?
Yeah, like especially this carries on from basically everything that I have in my life. Like I walk in the room like I belong in the room, and I treat that with everything that I do. So breaking those barriers, doing what you love, and continue to follow your heart no matter what. And the obstacles are there, but they're just going to continue to make you stronger. And like I've learned that, like I started playing football in seventh grade. I was the only girl on the boys tackle team, and I did that for seventh. I was in seventh and eighth grade. I did that, and then from there it continued to grow. Like my love of football just continued to grow, and that's how I ended up so involved with the WFA.
Amazing. And Jazmyne?
For the next generation, I would just say, don't ever take no for an answer. Anything is possible. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And so, don't think that maybe it's possible later, but why not now? Why not you? And so follow your heart, follow your dreams, and, keep pushing. No matter, what pushback that you get, no matter what ceiling you think that there is, you can go above and beyond that ceiling, and just, follow your heart and, dream big and do big.
I love that. I love that. So Kristie, it's persistence, passion, perseverance. Sienna, I love what you said, show up in the room like you belong there. And Jazmyne, that why not now? Why not you? Those are all amazing, amazing words of wisdom that I hope our listeners take with them, no matter how old they are. If they are a girl in our program listening to this, if they're a coach in our program, if they're one of our followers, I hope you guys got some serious inspiration out of today. Hope you guys look up DC Divas on all of the social platforms, give them a like, give them a follow. And we hope to see you guys out in the stands cheering on our divas next season, which will start in, is it May, guys? Is that what we need to look out for?
The end of April, is likely April 2025. Look out for the DC Divas. We're coming your way.
Fantastic. I absolutely love that. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning for our Joyful Journey series. And we hope you guys continue to spread that empowerment, that confidence, and that inspiration across the DC region.
This episode of Joyful Journeys is brought to you by Girls on the Run of Northern Virginia.